Welcome to Diversity Matters. This program is designed to highlight the diversity-related activities throughout New Hanover County schools and the greater Wilmington community. I'm Valita Quattlebaum, Chief Communications Officer for New Hanover County Schools. This month on our program, Travis Corpening of Cape Fear Community College joins me to discuss a topic that has been making headlines across the country, the crisis facing many young African American males. We'll explore this topic and also talk about his program, which is called the Minority Male Mentoring Program, or 3MP, and it's designed to help young African American men transition into college life. Then in the second half of our program, my co-host Maria Black talks with Principal Adrian Pearson of Mosley PLC about his school's launch of the new Career Readiness Academy. So don't go away. This very special edition of Diversity Matters gets started right after this short break.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on a sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
And welcome back to Diversity Matters. Many young African American males are in crisis today in America, and they're in crisis in some of the most important aspects of life, including education, trouble with the law, lack of job opportunities, and the resulting chronic poverty. But fortunately, there are beacons of hope and people who give back and try to make a difference. People like my guest today, Mr. Travis Corpening of Cape Fear Community College. His program, called the Minority Male Mentoring Program, or 3MP, helps some young African American men make smooth transitions into and out of college life. Welcome, Travis, to Diversity Matters.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So tell us about your program and why it's so needed today.
The program is designed for minority males in college at Cape Fear Community College that are, and the point of it is transferring to four-year colleges, helping them transfer, helping them stay in school, be retained, and also, some don't want to transfer, some just want to graduate, so helping them to graduate, whatever their goals are. And also there's a professional portion of that, helping them move on to careers.
And why is that needed for that segment?
Well, there are a lot of studies that have been done in terms of the challenges for minority males moving forward, and a lot of the things that keep minority males, because essentially being at the bottom in terms of retention, in terms of graduation, in terms of transferring from community colleges, a lot of that has nothing to do with academics. A lot of those reasons are things that are outside of academics. Homelessness, you're talking about, dealing with having to deal with past issues in terms of felony convictions, or, there's a lot of different things that have nothing to do with academics that are, statistically skewed towards minority males. And so the program is here to try to help with some of those things, connect them with people that might be able to help, and that's essentially what the program is for.
That's great. And let's talk about employment for a minute. What's the employment outlook for particularly African American males here in our community?
And obviously I don't have the numbers on this one, but I do believe that there are specific challenges to African American males that a lot of times we just assume are, all things are equal. And, in a lot of ways they are, but we deal with many times a perception.
Right.
Even if you're not, quote unquote, this person, a lot of times you have to deal with the perception that you are.
Right.
And
People
you
being afraid of you
Right.
or thinking you're going to do something.
Exactly.
Right.
And so you have to take extra steps that probably are not necessarily having to be taken by other people, that to make sure that people are comfortable with you, and that's just one aspect too. But that's a big one.
That's huge, and now our interview is so timely today because there's so much on the news. We're looking at the news about the Baltimore riots, and we see young black males getting in trouble right here in Wilmington every night on the news. That's what I see, and across the country, and that shapes people's perceptions.
Exactly.
So what are some solutions that you see that we could have that could be effective right here in Wilmington? Obviously programs like yours, but what else?
Well, and I love that question because that is the key. I think continuously creating or changing the narrative, and not only changing the narrative, and so that people know that there are people that African American males that just want to work,
right, and that want to do the right thing,
right. It's not being shown a lot of times that they're out there. So what we have to do is kind of be balanced with the media a little bit, show a little, you got to show the truth,
right,
but let's show the whole truth.
Let's show the whole truth,
right. Let's show the whole truth, and
right, in the Baltimore situation, there were people looting of all races.
Right.
And we don't condone looting or robbing or violence, but it seems that it was, one group predominantly that was being shown.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And I think that's a major part of the problem, because even with the employment piece, if you see that consistently, anybody, if you see that black, white, or whatever, if you see that consistently, and you kind of make, target the black male, like that's who I see as doing these things.
Right.
It does change your perception when they try to go get a job,
That's true.
Right.
I heard Denzel Washington say he got on an elevator once with a woman who did not know who he was, and she started clutching her purse.
Right, Denzel Washington.
Right, Denzel Washington, right? One of the greatest, probably wealthiest actors in the world, but because he is an African American male.
Right.
Right.
And I think it gets overlooked, like really gets overlooked. I think we talk about it sometimes, but we don't think about how many things that can affect.
Right, and how complex that's my next question. It's such a complex issue. It's not one thing.
Right.
It's not just the church or just the education community. It's complicated. So given that it is so complicated, what can we do as a community to stop what they're calling the school to prison pipeline? Because that's what's happening.
Right. I think we have to start early.
Right.
Start early, teaching them about and giving them examples of professionalism. I went to a meeting a couple of nights ago, and the report was from this particular group was that the demographic of African Americans in this community from 21 to 50 was going down, and other demographics were going up. And when you think about that, 21 to 50, who is that? That's people that are graduating from college.
Right, and young in the workplace.
Right, young in the workplace,
Right.
and are moving out.
Right.
So
Them leaving
how does that
Wilmington.
leaving Wilmington? So
Right.
what I believe happens is, if you have less examples of black or African American professionals,
Right, and positive behavior.
exactly,
Right.
professionals or people that have been given an opportunity to go to college, and so what you have is youth that don't have that much, don't have the map essentially,
The role models.
right, to look at.
Right.
So I think we need to do a better job. In some way, we need to do a better job of trying to get. And there are avenues to do that, to try to get more. I mean, people say it all the time: positive role models.
Right.
Positive role models. It almost becomes a cliche, and a lot of times you get tired of hearing it, but it's the truth.
That's the only way.
Right.
Like,
if you get, if you teach them and bring them, like with my minority male mentoring program, I have students that when I take them to college, on a college visit, this is the first time they've seen, and if I go to a HBCU, you know, this many black people are in college.
In college, right.
And this is not a thing that, you know, we had to necessarily deal with I'm from Raleigh, that I necessarily had to you know, in Raleigh, I knew that.
Right.
There are no HBCUs around here. So when you talk about college, for some, not for all, you know, it almost becomes, that's not a part of my life.
Right. Right. That's not a part of my expectation.
Right.
Right. But there are some mentoring programs taking place, some of our fraternities, and organizations like 100 Black Men. But to me, it still seems limited. Is there any reason, do you think, that's preventing more from being done from these groups?
I don't know. I just think, I think coming together and visionaries, having a full picture of what the problem is, because I think everybody has a different idea, excuse me, of what they think the problem is. I think if we come together, though, and bring our ideas together, put, you know,
we need to have a summit. I would love to work with you on a summit.
I think that would be great, and with a goal in mind. A lot of times, that's what bothers me. A lot of times with efforts, when we, you know, marches are great, and things like that, but there needs to be a goal in mind at the end.
People have been marching for years. Like,
Right.
We're marching and marching
and
and
then,
marching.
Right, and then
we're
still doing the same
changing.
thing, right? So we need to change. My idea is always one thing. Start with one thing. Let's change this. See if we can change that.
That's one thing. Right.
And then we can move into, you know, when you're talking about the bus boycott, that was one thing.
Right.
So
one simple thing that people could get behind. Right.
Let's do that one thing first, and then move to something else.
Right. I think we do have some programs like the Blue Ribbon Commission.
Yes.
The Mayor's Initiative Against Violence is good. Are you aware of any other initiatives here in Wilmington? Or do we all need to kind of get behind that one and help build that up?
There are a lot of good ones, and you know, it just depends on what your target is. If your target's, you know, college, or if you're, you know, college age males, or if your target is high school age males. I know of the Light Manhood Program.
Right, that's with Frankie Roberts.
Frankie Roberts, yes.
Yeah.
Who was just honored at UNCW. And you know, there's a lot of other programs that are not necessarily African American male specific, but they do offer
help.
Yeah,
right.
I think though, if we got to look at the full range of who's at the bottom, and kind of figure out a way, why are they at the bottom?
Right, and what can we do?
Right.
Like I grew up in Newark, and they had a program with the police, a basketball program, and that inner city basketball became such a positive because the kids had to stay
and
in
even
school.
Here, I think there's a program here called I believe it's called the PALS program that the police department does.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about New Hanover County Schools for a minute. What are some things we need to make sure our teachers are aware of when dealing with young Black children, males in particular, who are struggling with poverty, not having a father in their home, and that sort of thing? What, as an outsider, what would you say our teachers need?
I think one of the main things that would help would be thinking outside of understanding you never know the whole story.
Right.
You don't know what's going on at home. Now, I realize, you know, that's asking a lot of a teacher who's supposed to be just in the classroom
to teach.
But to first understand that there are a lot. I remember working with when I worked with students from New Hanover County Schools years ago, right after college. There were students that were dealing with things like, you know, seeing, you know, tragic things the night before school.
That's right. Seeing
and
violence in the
violence,
street.
you know,
when I was
some
in the
cases
classroom,
murder, and then they're asked to go to class.
Right.
And then you know,
have to be willing to talk about it or have counselors that they can
Absolutely.
talk to.
Absolutely, because I'm not going to be thinking about math
No, I can't learn because I just saw
at that point.
somebody get gunned down in my neighborhood.
Right.
Oh, wow, we are out of time. That there's just I have to have you back because I didn't even
Sure.
get through all my questions, and this is such a rich topic, and I believe that this is a way we can begin to find some solutions that can help our community here
Absolutely.
in Wilmington. I'm so grateful for what you're doing here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
It's a
for
blessing.
being my guest. So don't go away. When we come back, Maria Black will travel to Mosley PLC to learn about that school's new Career Readiness Academy. And she'll be here with her special guest in just a moment.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Welcome back to Diversity Matters. I am at Mosley PLC speaking with school principal Adrian Pearson about the new Mosley Career Readiness Academy that will begin August 2015. Mr. Pearson, what gives birth to this new program and what is it?
After having discussions with our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Holliday, and our Superintendent, Dr. Markley, we were looking at a new draw for the Mosley PLC. And doing some research and looking at some data, we decided that an introduction of the Career Readiness Academy starting in August 2015 would be a very good opportunity to look at a different draw for our students at our current location.
Okay. And what are the goals of the program?
The goals of the program will be, first of all, to attract a little more of the students in the district to come to our school and have an opportunity to obtain some portable credentials that they can take with them either into the workforce when they leave here or to their 2 or 4 year college or career.
How long is the course of study? How long is the program? Is it 3 years, 4 years, regular high school program?
Students still will achieve a high school diploma, but they will have the opportunity to gain up to 5 portable credentials before they leave.
Can you share what might be some of those credentials?
Microsoft Academy, PowerPoint, Publisher, Excel, Access.
And tell me about the staff. Who will be teaching these courses?
The current staff will stay in place. We've been fortunate enough to bring on a career development coordinator, a full-time instructional coach, also a social worker. We're working very closely with our district staff to implement professional development to integrate the core content of the CTE courses into our entire content throughout the building.
Okay, great. Who makes the best candidate to apply for the program?
Best candidate is any student who's going to be geared towards the motivation and looking towards some type of a career or is looking to improve their business potential of the future.
Regarding career and the different credentials that the student can earn, it brings to mind that in the past there were schools that were recognized as vocational, where the students could actually graduate with a trade. How is this similar? How is this program similar to that concept?
A lot of academies that we've visited, that would be another aspect of maybe a growth for the future. Those are more hands-on, as you said, and that of the past where they had the construction type things along those lines. This type of thing will give them the actual inter-office kind of certification and credentials to move into the future and careers right now. That may be something we could look at towards the future.
Okay. Can you give us a snapshot as to what you anticipate the classroom instruction and format to be like?
The students will continue to be part of a blended environment where each classroom will have computers along the exterior of the classroom. There will be an opportunity to have a conferencing center in each classroom as well. So the teachers will have some direct instruction going on, and also time for the students to come to the center and discuss, do some PLC, some hands-on learning, some problem-solving techniques, and a variety of different experiences that will also go out into the community, internships, things of that nature.
Do you anticipate also that this program will be also a good alternative for students who speak another language? Do you see that as a group that could also benefit from the program?
We look to approach any type of student that wants to come in and look towards another opportunity to draw all kinds of opportunities for them in the future.
Great. What about class size? Are we having a classroom with 30 students like in the traditional high school setting, or are you looking at a smaller class?
We would like to continue to stay towards that 15 to 20 students per classroom, to try and maintain that traditional setting.
Okay. Is there a particular dress code in mind, a uniform?
We will continue to do the uniform that we currently have, a collared shirt, khaki, navy, black pants.
Okay. And what's the process for students to apply?
The new application is currently online, or you may stop by the office to get it as well. There's also a video component involved in the application process. We also have a opportunity for the students to come in and do that video right with us, or they may submit it online as well.
Okay, great. Going back to that initial part of the application, will a student have to begin the program in 9th grade, or can the student go to another high school and then think about, I might just want to try going to Mosley? Can they begin here as a 10th grader?
As of now, they can, but looking towards the future, we'll have to come in as a 9th grader.
You already had this month a parent information session. Is there any other plan to have another meeting during the summer, or perhaps prior to the beginning of the school year in August?
Absolutely. The campus itself will be going through quite a few changes this summer as we get ready to showcase more of the business-like environment. So with that being said, our doors will be open all summer for visitors to come in, and we also will plan a opening night for parents, incoming freshmen, things of that nature to give them and highlight the actual academy and see what's going on with those opportunities for our students.
Great. Will this program have any component to it that will allow the student to experience working or partnering with a business?
Yes, ma'am. We have established some very good foundations already with some local businesses, AT&T, GE. Also, we are looking at exploring some things with the NAF Academy, which has a variety of experiences and business partnerships as well for the future. So our students will have the opportunity near the end of their time here to go out into the community, work with Cape Fear Community College, UNCW, and places of that which the county have very firm and good relationships with already.
Okay. What would be the next step for a student who graduates from here? Will you say going to Cape Fear Community College or to a community or technical college somewhere? Will that be the next natural progression of studies?
That would be a very good option for them, but they will have also the opportunity, if they decide, if for some reason they're not ready to do so, they could have the credentials to go into the workforce or possibly do both, which some students nowadays have to do.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Pearson, for sharing with us the details and information regarding the new Career Readiness Academy that will begin at Mosley next fall. If you would like more information, please go to www.nhcs.net or call the school at 910-251-6161. Now, don't go away. We'll be right back.
If I can reach the stars, pull one down for you, shining on my heart, so you could see the truth. I could change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, baby. If I could change the world, baby. If I could change the world.
Make a difference. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Every day, online predators make their way into homes uninvited and unnoticed. Help delete online predators. To learn what you can do to protect your kids' online life, visit cybertipline.com.
Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Diversity Matters. If you would like information about our district's ESL program, call Maria Black at 254-4202. And feel free to call my office, the New Hanover County Schools Public Relations Department, at 254-4245 if you have a story idea for future editions of Diversity Matters. Until next time, I'm Valita Quattlebaum. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next month right here on Diversity Matters.